What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're going to be talking about some really interesting new items that Bungie added into the game today with the Dawning, and they're essentially some really vague but also really interesting story hints for the future of Destiny, like the Traveler waking up and defending the last city, and a few other things as well. It definitely seems like Bungie are dropping some subtle hints about Destiny 2, and I get into a big reason about why I think that later in the video, but first let's go over these items and what they actually are. So if you go to the tower to collect your daily gifts, you can get those presents, of course, which you collect every day for those motes and weapon parts. But today on this weekly reset, Bungie added a new gift, which you can see here on the right, called the Box of Fortunes. So if you open the box up, you're going to get a paper fortune and some grimoire, and these all have different messages. All these paper scraps, they've all got different messages. They're like 50 plus in total discovered so far. Mine says your enemies will tremble before you, which is pretty basic, not very interesting. And comment down below which message you got on your card. I want to see if any found something interesting that hasn't been discovered yet. But some are very similar to mine, very simple, like you light the way, others follow, compassion burns brighter than greatest light. Some very simple ones, and others are more joking. There's ones like Shax will inevitably shout at you, you'll demolish your sparrow at high speed, and Master of Hall will surprise you and then disappoint you. Now, some of the more interesting ones are definitely hinting, in my eyes anyway, towards Destiny 2, the future story, and as I read these messages, think of Destiny 2 and it'll make a lot more sense. So the speaker will dream of beautiful and terrible things, nothing sleeps forever, not even the Traveler, which is very interesting. The Traveler will smile upon you, the world shivers at the sense of change, but anything is possible. Great changes are on the horizon for you. When all is lost, you'll still be a guardian and you'll still be enough. You'll destroy and also rebuild. You'll fail and then you'll fall and then you'll get back up. You'll not be forgotten, you're not alone, the tower stands with you and the city stands behind you cautiously. You stood behind the city in its hour of greatest need and you will do so again. So those are all super interesting to hear actually in-game, especially the Traveler being mentioned finally. It feels like it's been years since the last time the Traveler was actually mentioned in-game. It seems like you almost forgotten about it. It's just that thing hovering above the city, you've almost pretend it isn't there. But those are all really, really interesting, and a lot of them are definitely along the lines of losing everything, which is just like the Kotaku article that said in Destiny 2, Bungie are wanting a massive change and for us to start afresh, even if it means leaving our old characters and gear and subclasses behind. That's directly what Kotaku said, so it definitely matches this idea of being destroyed, losing everything and still being a guardian and not being forgotten. A lot of those quotes definitely can be in line with Destiny 2 and Bungie's kind of vision of what we've heard from the Kotaku leaks. So one of the most interesting ones I saw was the world shivers at the sense of change, anything is possible, great changes are on the horizon for you. So this is very similar to how a lot of people are definitely afraid of change. They don't want to lose their characters in gear. They don't want Destiny 2 to be a massive change to Destiny 1. But Bungie is saying anything is possible. Great changes are on the horizon. So this could be Bungie hinting that Destiny 2 is going to be a great change from what we're used to, which definitely matches up with the Kotaku leaks. So of course they also mentioned destroying and being rebuilt, and then falling and getting back up again, and not being forgotten and still being a guardian even if you've lost everything. A very common theory is that Last City might get attacked or the tower might be destroyed, causing us to lose our vault, and that could be the reason why I have to start over in Destiny 2, and it could be a very easy way for Bungie to have us start over again with no gear in the sequel, and explain why we don't have our old weapons anymore. But to me this is definitely Bungie's very vague and nondescript way of teasing the future of 2017. Now there's also something else that I found very interesting about these notes that I haven't seen anyone else mention, and that's the fact this isn't the first time we've seen these notes. And back in January 2016, so the very beginning of the year, is when these notes first actually popped up, these paper scraps for the Dawning, and they were added into the database last January, these exact items. They were all notes from various vendors, so Shax, Zavala, Eris the Cryptarch, and there were 8 of them in total, all commemorating an event called the Dawning, or Days of the Dawning. And at the time we all pretty much assumed that that would be the next live team event, but nothing ever happened called the Dawning and most people forgot about it, until of course we got the actual Dawning event recently, which is going on now. But it seems like Bungie were going to hold the Dawning event early in 2016, but decided to put it on pause. So something I was thinking about in relation to this is that if these notes are basically the Destiny 2 hints and it leads into Destiny 2, it makes perfect sense why they didn't release the Dawning back in early 2016, because that was when Destiny 2 actually got delayed. Of course, it was supposed to launch in September 2016, but got pushed back and they made Rise Vine for us instead. But my theory is that these notes are like the precursor and the beginning to a teaser campaign for Destiny 2. They're about to come out with them last year, and then of course they delayed Destiny 2, which is why the notes never came out and eventually got removed from the database. But now of course Destiny 2 is back on track launching in 2017, so it makes sense for Bungie to be releasing them now, of course, now that Destiny's back on track and they're going to be kind of leading this teaser campaign into the sequel. Of course, that's just my guessing based on how these Dawning notes were added into the Destiny game files and then mysteriously were removed around the same time that Destiny 2 got delayed. I could be wrong, but again, that's just my guessing. But something I thought was pretty interesting, I thought I'd let you guys know about it. And of course, give me your thoughts in the comment section. Now, even if these paper fortunes are actually related to Destiny 2, it's still not like we're going to get a reveal or a trailer like tomorrow. I think that's still definitely a few months away, but I think it's definitely the beginning of them hyping the sequel up, and probably the beginning of the actual teaser campaign of what's coming in the future. But it is definitely interesting that they released these notes on the last reset of the Dawning, because obviously the Dawning does end next Tuesday. We've got 7 days left of the event. But either way, I'm looking forward to see how Bungie progresses these Destiny 2 teasers, and of course any news that emerges, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date right here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on my future uploads. I'll also link in the description a Reddit thread from Fuzzle, who's collected all the messages you can check out. You can read all of them and see what's going on, and if any of you guys have got some that aren't already listed, then you can get those added to the list, and hopefully we'll discover them all. But if you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.